But the hostility,
Yes.
I will tell you, that I take for being a Cowboys fan, and this is what I say to Giants fans all the time, and Eagles fans. Now, Eagles fans, I can understand it from a little more because the Eagles do suck, and they've sucked for a long time.
Much
and
like the town.
And their fans are generally angry, awful people.
I agree.
You're listening to the Zach Gelb Show on Fox Sports 920, The Jersey.
Christie offending people that got him into his position of power as governor. South Jersey, you should be annoyed. Philadelphia, you should be annoyed. Christie, the governor of New Jersey, called you angry, awful people. We booked this guy anyway, but now it just makes it a great convenience to us to bring him on, and that's Howard Eskin from Sports Radio 94 WIP, who's probably foaming at the mouth and is incensed with these comments by Christie. Howard, let me hear your reaction. What did you have to think about what Christie said?
Well, I'm not foaming at the mouth. Why get angry with a blowhard and a moron? The one thing he said, which is contradictory to what a politician should say. He said generally, he says that people are angry people? What do you mean generally? You can't generalize when you've met and you may have run across 5 or 6 people, 10 people, 15 people out of the whole city of Philadelphia, out of 60-some thousand people in a stadium. This is why, at one point, I thought this guy had real smarts and could be a presidential candidate. Now, that was 2 years ago. He has destroyed himself. That's why he's not even part of Trump's cabinet, because even Trump realizes this guy is a moron. You just can't say, here are the people that these fans are the ones that you were supposed to be on their side and helping them. I don't care whether you like the Cowboys. He's misguided. He committed an ethics problem because he took free plane rides on Jerry Jones' private jet, which was an ethics issue, because he was one that helped sign off on Jerry Jones's catering company at times in different public venues. He completely violated the ethics of the office of governor of the state of New Jersey. So he committed a sin, and he's going to talk about other people, and he can have an opinion, but he's a politician. He's a guy that somewhere down the line, he's not going to sit there and be a talk show host. If that's what he wants to be, then go for it. But to say the Eagles suck is stupid. To call the fans generally angry people generally is not a good word to use when you're a politician, because you can't generalize. He's just I can't say enough bad things about how stupid and what a dope this guy has turned into. A complete moron and dope.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's why we bring Howard Eskin on from 94 WIP. And I was also someone a few years ago that thought, okay, he could be a potential presidential candidate, but he completely has just thrown up on himself time in and time out ever since I did think that. And I'll tell you this, because here at 920 The Jersey, you would think that we could get the governor on this show, and since our city to license and serve is trending, so I reached out to the governor's office today, and I'm just going to assume they're probably going to block my request, Howard, just like he tried to block all those people from going on the bridges.
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah, well, he didn't block them, but he obviously, according to the findings, knew it was happening and didn't try to, and then lied about it, or allegedly lied about what happened there. Regardless of what the situation was, he has not been. He has turned into a very poor and pathetic governor of the state of New Jersey, and you have no chance. He's not going to respond to
yeah,
that.
I know. If my name's not Cardin or Francesa, he's not coming on. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
All right, so with that being said, though, Howard, and I'm a New Yorker, you know me, growing up as a kid, and I came to Philadelphia, and you hear all these awful things. You got to be careful. You can't wear your New York teams in Philadelphia. You're going to get awful things said at you. I've been to numerous games, like I've been to Ranger Flyers game with my Ranger stuff on, And the fans can't be nicer. Yes, there's been some really stupid instances in this city of Philadelphia, like the Ed Snyder tribute bracelet thing. That was an embarrassment last year. But they're not like San Francisco fans where they actually kill people. Why does Philadelphia still get such a bad rap nationally?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't generalize about San Francisco killing people. It was obviously a slob and a creep and a disgusting human being that killed somebody, so I wouldn't generalize about that.
I was more talking about the San Francisco Raiders preseason game. They had to cancel that because all the stabbings that went on during that game.
Yeah, it's just whatever the case. It's not. I don't know everything that happened there, but the reality is there are fans that can be rough. There's no question they can be rough. We know that, but that's just a small part of if you look at the entire capacity of the stadium, that's just a small part of the 67,000. Are there fans there that are rough? Yeah. Are there fans that are not? No. But to categorize everybody in one stroke of the brush is just absolutely moronic and stupid. But that's what he's turned into. He's turned into a real blowhard. He's a real he's an idiot. But you can't characterize everybody because there are some good people there. But the governor is just, hey, listen, in 6 months he'll be gone and he'll be forgotten. And people will just he'll be a footnote somewhere along the way in a month. He'll be a footnote.
Howard, let's get into Andy Reid because you've been defending the way Andy Reid managed the clock. Give me your argument for that.
Well, my argument is if his defense, even if he doesn't score the 2 points, and even James Harrison said, I never get that call, so it's not a call that's normally made at that point of the game. So even if he doesn't, even if the Chiefs don't get the call and they still have to go for it, if they had held, it was 2 minutes left when Pittsburgh passed on third down. If they don't score or if they don't get the first down on that third down, Kansas City, and I think they were at the 11-yard line, Kansas City has close to 2 minutes to kick a field goal to win the game. So you can complain about all his clock management and all those other things, and sometimes with that quarterback, you have to make sure that the play is the right play. He's not a guy that throws in 15-yard chunks. It's usually 10 to 12-yard passes, if that. So they still, if their defense holds, if they don't have the call, it's still a tie game. If Pittsburgh doesn't get the call on the hold, but even with that, if they hold Pittsburgh on 3rd and 4 at the 11-yard line with I believe it was 2 minutes left, then they still get the ball back with a chance to score. So how bad was that? If your defense does the job, you got a chance to score.
Here's my problem with it. I thought they should have showed more urgency, and you make the point about your defense. You're given because they get the ball back with 2:46 left. They have one timeout and the 2-minute warning. So you're putting your defense, which has stopped Pittsburgh, held them out of the end zone the entire night. They have to make a stop in 3 downs. They only get one crack at it. If they score with about 2 or 3 minutes earlier, then you get a few more cracks at it. That's the problem I have, and I just thought they were taking way too much time, Howard.
Well, yeah, but you don't want any more cracks at it because you had a chance. If you stop them, you're completely ass backwards on your analogy. If they had stopped them, they get the clock down. There's almost nothing with a field goal that wins the game.
But they didn't.
So what's wrong with that? You got urgency. You play to win the game. And if their defense had stopped them, they had a chance to win the game. So you can give me all your urgency and all your, you're a copycat. You just pile on with all these other people that pile on.
Oh, hold on, Howard. I said this live. It's not like I was listening to someone's radio show and then came on and said the next day. I said that live. I'm screaming at the TV just like I was last year when I was in New England for that Chiefs game, and I'm laughing saying, why are they taking so much time?
Well, who cares how long they took? They had a chance if their defense stopped them. And, who knows how long that drive would have taken if Pittsburgh needed. First of all, the objective is to score. There's no guarantee that they would have scored if they had run the clock faster with Alex Smith as your quarterback. So there's no guarantee. So they did score. They did score. They did have a chance to tie the game. They did have a chance to win the game if their defense makes a stop. So I don't have a problem with it. But it's like everybody just piles on. Oh, Andy Reid, clock management. Oh, Andy Reid, clock management. Oh, Andy Reid, clock management. You got to come up with something new. Come up with an original thought. That's all. Just come up with an original thought.
Well, when it keeps on happening, that's why I continue to have that thought. So overall in his career,
keeps on happening. The guy is in the top 10 of wins in the NFL.
Oh, I'm not saying he's a bad coach, Howard. Andy Reid to me is a good head coach. He's not a great head coach. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just the one flaw.
Well, the only reason he's not a great head coach is because he hasn't won a Super Bowl. But he's a good head coach. Tell me how many coaches are better in the NFL.
I would put at least 5.
Out of 30 teams. Boy, you're really breaking yourself down, aren't you?
No, Howard, I never said bad coach. I've actually supported Andy Reid. And one thing I don't understand, even though we disagree here.
All people do in Philadelphia is complain about him.
Well, that's wrong. The guy had a really good run here. That's wrong. That's stupid. But I could see why people continue to complain about him when time and time again the clock management skills are bad.
Okay, clock management. I'm so tired of hearing clock management.
That's the truth.
Turn that out of your
him
vocabulary. Here's the bottom line. He was the second seed in the AFC with a quarterback that sucks. Alex Smith sucks, and he was second seed in the AFC. Now, how bad a coach can he be?
Howard Eskin with us right now on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, The Jersey. So we'll agree to disagree there. Let's get to the Sixers. Big game tonight. Sixers have some life. Embiid has reinvigorated this team. Just after seeing all those years are losing, what is it like to watch Joel Embiid for you right now?
Well, Joel Embiid is going to be a hell of a player, assuming he stays healthy for his career. But they still don't have enough. They still need other parts. With all that losing, they still have one player that you can count on. I don't want to hear Ben Simmons until I see Ben Simmons. They could have had the Greek Freak instead of MCW. They could have had Porzingis instead of Okafor. So how good did that turn out? You've got one player, but you need more than one player to win. Let's not get carried away here. The teams they have beaten in this little run here
not good.
Are not great. There's not many good teams in the NBA anyway.
Agreed.
There's not really high level teams. They're at the bottom they're at the mid level or bottom rung of teams in the NBA. But Embiid, there's no question he's certainly got skills. I want to see what he does against and I want to see what the team does against good teams. That's what I want to see.
With that being said, though, I actually like the mentality, and I laughed a little bit when Embiid started mentioning playoffs, but after just hearing losing, and have no commitment to winning, it's nice to just hear that playoff term at least be thrown out there, even though they're 6 games back right now, they're not going to make it probably.
No, they're not going to make it, but that's okay. He can say what he wants. He's got the right to say what he wants. He's got energy. He's a personality. He's a personality on Twitter. I don't know how much of a personality he is when he speaks after the game. I like to see a little more juice out of him, but he is funny on Twitter. There's no question. He really is funny on Twitter.
So I do agree with you, Howard. They need to get more talent, and I think Ben Simmons is going to be a good player, but you still have to see him, and he still has to stay healthy, so we'll see when he comes back in probably less than a month from now. Where's your confidence in Brian Colangelo to get the right pieces here in Philadelphia?
It's much better, much better than that dope Sam Hinkie who ran a Ponzi scheme. He ran a Ponzi scheme. The reality is, and it's a simple reality, Sam Hinkie didn't know basketball, and he screwed up a lot of the picks. He had one good pick out of 4. Nerlens Noel they're trying to trade. MCW they've already traded. He took Okafor instead of Porzingis. So he got one pick who fell to number 3 because he was hurt, and Hinkie tried to get Wiggins anyway. So he fell into that pick, and he's a good player. Now, as far as Ben Simmons, I don't know how good Ben Simmons is. I don't think he's a point guard. And that's where we'll see. I want him inside. I want him to rebound and come out on the break off a rebound with his skills, not play outside and not have the opportunity to get as many rebounds. He's not a point guard, and he can't shoot. That's the other thing. He can't shoot. So we'll see how he plays. There's no guarantees of Ben Simmons. They need a point guard, and I don't believe it's going to be Ben Simmons.
Just passing along this information. Don't get mad at me, Howard Eskin from 94 WIP. We had Chris Broussard on last week, and Broussard, who sees more NBA than probably anybody for FS1, he said about Ben Simmons that he will be a better passer than LeBron, and he compares him to Magic Johnson. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's absolutely asinine and stupid to compare him to Magic Johnson. So in other words, Simmons hasn't played a second in the NBA yet, but he's now being compared to a Hall of Famer. Boy, that's really wonderful. I don't care what Chris Broussard, who knew he was on in Philadelphia, is going to say good things. The reality is you don't know that. He's not Magic Johnson, and I don't want to hear he's Magic Johnson. Is he a better passer than LeBron? Well, I don't look at LeBron for his passing skills. And how much do you think Chris Broussard saw Ben Simmons? Yeah, honestly, how many games do you think he saw him play?
I don't know. I didn't ask him.
4 games if you're lucky. Did he catch his last game in college when they got beat by 40 points in their conference tournament and Ben Simmons scored 10 points? Did he catch that game? I don't know what to expect out of him yet. He could be really good, or he may not be as good as people think. But to compare him to Magic Johnson is the most foolish thing I've ever heard of.
King, before we let you run, just looking at the NFL playoffs, you have the AFC and NFC championship games coming up this weekend. Who do you think gets to the Super Bowl in Houston?
Well, I love Green Bay, but somehow, and I don't know why, I think Atlanta, because Matt Ryan is so hot. Not that Aaron Rodgers isn't hot. Atlanta's home. They played really, really, really well. They'll be able to score points with Green Bay, where the Cowboys really weren't at that level. They were lucky they got that game close because I think Green Bay let up a little bit. I would lean a little bit. I'm not a strong opinion on Atlanta, only because it looks too easy to take Green Bay. And Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and it's not even close because he's so mobile. He can throw running either left or right. He's got such a comfort level and a patience and instincts, but it looks too easy just to take Green Bay. And it's not a strong opinion, but I like Atlanta a little bit. And the only reason I can't stand Pittsburgh or New England, but I hope Pittsburgh wins because I'm so tired of New England. It's like it's old already. It's old. And they don't have Gronkowski. And they've gotten by with beating Houston. And the fact that they were even in a game with Houston is a joke. So, again, not a strong feeling for Pittsburgh, but I would lean a little bit that way.
Fair enough. Are you going to be at the Super Bowl again this year?
Yep, there every year.
Well, I'll see you there. And Howard Eskin, we appreciate you coming on, and thanks so much. And I got to manage my time correctly, and I have to hit the post soon, so let me say goodbye to you, okay, King?
Okay, you got it.
There's Howard Eskin. Had to get that Andy Reid jab in there again.